I'm Crystal Howell, a women's health and orthopedic physical therapist. Along with my sister Amy, we own Expecting and Empowered, which is a pregnancy and postpartum fitness app. Today we're gonna go over if you get a diagnosis of having a breech baby. So this was really tough for myself. That's what led me into having C-sections. I wish I knew what I know now about trying to flip that baby into the right position. So let's go over what we can do ourselves and at home and some possible techniques that might help you flip your baby. So number one, just knowing that the uterus, so if this little blue ball is the uterus, is a pear shape, so it gets smaller at the bottom. So we want to make sure that we're opening up the bottom. We can do this by creating space, both in our hips, our pelvic floor, and the sacrum. There's ligaments that help the uterus suspend in the pelvic cavity. So we want to make sure these ligaments are loosened and balance. If one side's too tight versus the other, this can create a decrease of space so that baby's not able to fully flip inside the uterus. So let's go through exercises. You can do all of these at once. You could do a few of them each day. The thing is we want to loosen and create space. And then after we want to do some sort of inversion pose every single day. Okay, so first exercise up is lumbar side to side. I'm gonna put something underneath my sacrum, whether it's a rolled up towel or a half foam roller works really good, but this creates a block on my sacrum. I'm gonna take my knees side to side. I'm putting that guy underneath my butt, and then I'm driving those knees side to side. You're gonna find that one side is more restricted than the other. Again, just trying to create as much space for baby as we can here. Getting this area moving. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flip. If you do have a half foam roller, I'm gonna flip that guy and I'm gonna drive my pelvis down. So these are called pelvic clocks. So I'm gonna drive it up and down. If there was a clock on me, 12 is up towards my nose, 6 is down here. So I'm gonna go to 6 and 12, 6 and 12. You really want to think about 12 because as I think about 12, my sacrum is tucking under, so that's creating more space in that pelvic inlet to allow baby to come in. That's the point that it gets really, really tight with breech babies. So 12's our jam. 6 o'clock in the morning doesn't sound fun. 12 sounds way better. Up and down, up and down. Then next step up is I'm gonna release my pelvic floor. So I'm gonna get rid of whatever I have here. I'm gonna take my hand, I'm gonna put it on this, like my butt crack area, my sits bones. I'm gonna keep a flat hand, insert that into the pelvis, and then I'm gonna be lifting up. I'm gonna think about breathing here. So I'm gonna inhale, exhale. As I inhale, you should feel my tissue or my pelvic floor kind of relax into my fingers. So I'm gonna inhale, think about relaxing or letting go of the pelvic floor here, and then exhale, inhale, exhale, and then I'm gonna switch sides. If you do have a pregnancy pillow, you can put that underneath your bump as you're doing this, but I'm gonna do it on the exact opposite side. So I'm gonna inhale in, pulling that sits bones up towards the ceiling. Inhale in, relax my pelvic floor. Exhale, inhale in. Exhale out. One more time on this side. Inhale in. Exhale out. That pelvic floor and some of our hip muscles just attach so closely with those uterine ligaments that this is really gonna help create more space. I'm gonna grab a full foam roller and I'm gonna roll out my butt. So what I like to do at the end of pregnancy here is I'm gonna let one leg, the leg that I'm working out, come out to the outside. I'm going to use my arm to kind of control some of the pressure, but I'm gonna roll back and forth. This is really sore. So like right there, I have a sore spot, so I can just pause, hold and breathe until it feels less sore, and then I can find another sore spot, which at the pregnancy, this thing is just loaded. So to do the other side, all I'm gonna do is open up this side of my leg. I'm gonna roll back and forth on my piriformis to get these guys moving. And then what I wanna do next is start to loosen up the obliques and the upper trunk. So what I'm gonna do for that is I'm gonna grab some lotion and I'm gonna lay on my side. So you guys can see, I'm gonna lay facing this way. So I'm gonna lay on my side and I'm going to be massaging the side of my back here. So all the way down. And again, all of this will get really tight at the end of pregnancy. So I'm massaging my back, and then I can start to push forward, like 1 inch up, push forward. And I'm gonna repeat this on both sides, but we're gonna stay on this side here first. Massage down, push, push forward with my thumb here, push forward. And then I'm gonna try to open up that space. So I'm gonna do a side lying X. I'm gonna let my trunk and chest open and my foot come forward. And then I'm gonna reach the exact opposite way. Arm forward, leg back. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. Opening up that side body. Okay, so we're gonna repeat the exact same thing on the opposite side. So I'm gonna grab lotion. I'm gonna put lotion on my obliques and back here. I'm gonna be rubbing from where my rib cage is all the way down to my pelvis, thinking about lengthening, creating space here. Plus this just feels so good at the end of pregnancy. And then I'm also gonna take my thumb and drive my back forward here. This area we just tend to like hang on for dear life at the end of pregnancy because our abs get so stretched. So our back has to do double time, which again can put the uterus in a less optimal position. I'm gonna go all the way back up, just pressing forward with my thumb. Once that's done, I'm gonna do that sideline X. So my arm reaches back, I'm opening up my side, leg comes forward, and then switch. Arm back, leg forward, creating space for baby. Switch. Arm back, leg forward. And with my leg, I really wanna think about pushing down and letting that open up. Let the leg come to the floor. The more I do that, the more my hip bone splays out to the side to create more room. So I'll really just rest my leg there. And then we're gonna do a couple more exercises in standing to create more space. The last couple exercises before we do inversion are creating more space. I'm gonna take my hands close to my hips. I'm gonna press down. So my hands are really pressing down, but they have to be as close to my hips as possible. And you might feel pulling or traction, and you could feel it in your low back or your thoracic spine, but I'm gonna pull down. And then I'm gonna hold that and I'm gonna follow up with putting my back against the wall. I'm gonna take baby and I'm gonna squeeze using my abdominals. I wanna create flatness of my back against the wall as much as possible. And I'm actually gonna pull baby up and over my pelvis because I really want baby, my ribs, baby and hips to be in one line instead of baby being way out front. Again, this is gonna help them have more space to be able to flip. So I'm gonna do that about 3 or 4 times where I'm just flattening, holding, hold. I'm actually actively using my abdominals and I'm grabbing the bottom of my belly and assisting with my hands. Last one here. Squeeze tight, my back is flat. This feels really good too, and maybe a little bit sore at the end of pregnancy on your back from your back muscles doing so much work. Okay, then the next step is inversion. So we can do this a couple different ways. You could put ironing board down and you can lay head down, just laying on that. One of the best ways too is to put your feet or trunk up on something, and then I'm carefully gonna walk myself down, and I'm just gonna hang out here. Again, this is allowing baby to disengage from their position that's less optimal, so that breech position, to have more space to be able to flip around to become not breech. So other things that are really helpful are walking. You can even walk on uneven surfaces like a curb. So again, we're creating asymmetry in the pelvis to hopefully create more symmetry. We want to avoid doing deep squats. So our baby, if it is breech, we don't want to do deep squats because that's going to engage baby in the pelvis more in an incorrect position. We also want to avoid slumping, because again, now our trunk isn't above our pelvis, so baby cannot have enough space. Or we also want to avoid kind of like letting our belly come so far out. We want to use our abdominals to keep baby over our pelvis. And then too, if you're getting closer and closer where there's only a few days left before your scheduled C-section, I really suggest starting to prepare your mind and your body for the potential of possibly having to have a C-section. If you're more informed in the decision-making process, there's usually less postpartum depression, anxiety that's associated with having to have a C-section. Other useful people could be using a physical therapist. Again, we've helped people flip their babies in the clinic multiple times, or a Webster trained chiropractor, and or an acupuncturist. All these people can play a pivotal role. If you're going to do that, as soon as you get your breech diagnosis, I would do that. And if you're gonna do a cephalic inversion, I would do all of that stuff before you go into the inversion instead of on the back end, if that makes sense. Because those people can help create space, and with the inversion, the doctors can help actually turn or flip the baby. So for more information like this on pregnancy, postpartum, because no matter what, you're gonna be having a baby. So follow us for more postpartum tips at Expecting and Empowered, or like and subscribe to this channel.